Hare Krishna, Prabhu. If you can see the other devotees, they're saying Hare Krishna to you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Kavita Mataji is going to start. Hare Krishna, Rasa Prabhu. Both are ready. All the bhakts today. We are very happy to have us all. You remember the last presentation which we had about Ekadashi. Hope everyone remembers. Rasa Prabhu had given us a lecture about Ekadashi and the need for Ekadashi. What is the importance of Ekadashi? Hope we all remember. And now we welcome Rasa Prabhu for the second lecture today.
Hare Krishna to you all.
You're on spotlight, Prabhu.
I guess they can spotlight you better, yeah.
Now I'm spotlight.
Hare Krishna to all of you. I'm sorry again, I'm late today. I went for taking a bath and got delayed. That's why I could not put my tilak also. Just like that from Shar, I'm running and joining in. Before this, the whole thing starting, I would like to inform you all that tomorrow is a very great day. Tomorrow is Sri Gaur Purnima. Gaur Purnima represents the appearance day or birthday of Lord Gauranga or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he appeared 500 plus years ago in the Mayapur land, Navadvip, which is around 3 hours journey from Calcutta. So you all should be very much grateful and pray to Mahaprabhu that he showers mercy upon you all. He is Krishna in a devotee form. And he gives bhakti freely to everyone. He doesn't charge. Like if I have to give you a short example, maybe not so. Okay, one example. Like we have seen a fisherman, he goes to fish. So there are different types of fishermen. One, they have a long rod and then the hook on the end, they bait, and then the fish catches and they take out the fish. So that person is like Krishna. He catches one fish at a time. That means one soul at a time, one person at a time. That also depends if the fish, means we are considered to be fish, and if we go and do bhakti to Krishna, then he catches and he removes us from this material world. Don't take it in a negative sense that we die, but we take a spiritual birth. So that is Lord Krishna. And in case of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is a bit different. He is not using that stick. He just takes a net, a huge big net. That net he puts into the ocean and he catches many people at one shot. That is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is very merciful. You bite into it or not, you are captured. And then we get a spiritual birth. Or one more better example, maybe I'll try to give you. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the way you surrender to me, accordingly I will reciprocate. That means you write your examinations. If you write for 5 marks, you will get 5 marks. If you write for 10 marks, you get 10 marks. If you write for 100 marks, you will get 100 marks, provided the answer should be right. Not that you write a wrong answer and you will get marks. No, not like that. But in case of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in case of Lord Gauranga, you just go to the examination hall, you write your name, your roll number, sufficient. He will pass you. You are passed. Amazing examiner, no? That's how amazingly merciful Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So you decide whose examination you want to attend. Krishna examination or Gauranga examination. If you want Gauranga examination, then tomorrow is the day to celebrate. Okay. Yes, we'll get into question answer sessions, because tomorrow whoever devotee is taking your session, Zoom session, he will definitely be taking on Gaur Katha, I guess. So those who have questions can raise your hands. Not necessarily that you stick to only Ekadashi topic. You can ask any question that may be there in your mind related to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. But I am again feeling very awkward because without Tilak, but please forgive me. I'm sorry again. I just took bath and came, so I did not apply Tilak. No, Rajni Mataji, sorry, I'm not giving the session tomorrow on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Somebody else would be doing it. Okay, Madan Mohan Prabhu, he has raised his hands.
Hare Krishna, Namaskar Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mayapur, when he say that this is the place, he understands that's where it is. So 500 years ago, that is where he came. But at that point, there was someone called Haridasa who helped some Muslim people some 3 lakh people or someone like that, and
Okay, I understood. I understood the question. So I guess that Madan Mohan Prabhu, thank you very much for your question. I'm very happy to see you again. You are always there whenever there is a question answer session. You definitely have something from your side. Obviously, Nirmal Prabhu has already raised his hand, so he's also there every time with the question. Nirmal Prabhu and Mataji. So we will take their questions later, but first Madan Mohan Prabhu. So before giving the answer, I would like to offer my respects to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. I offer my respects to Srila Prabhupada, who is founder Acharya of ISKCON, and very kindly he has showered mercy upon all the fallen souls, including me. I pray to Sri Panchatattva, that they bless me so that I can be of some useful service to them. I humbly offer my respectful obeisances to the divine couple, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, and all their associates. So, Madan Mohan Prabhu, you were asking about a great devotee by name Haridas Thakur. Yes, he was born in a Mohammedan family, in a Muslim family, but he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Like we say, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna's incarnation. In the similar way, Srila Haridas Thakur, he is incarnation of Brahma. And he wanted to take part in Krishna's Leela again in Kali Yuga. So he requested the Lord that it is too much that I have become Brahma. Give me some simple position in your services. Also, during Krishna Leela, there happened a pastime by name Brahma Vimohan Leela. In which Lord Krishna confused Lord Brahma. So I will tell this pastime very quickly. Brahma had kidnapped Krishna's friends to test if Krishna is God. At that time, Krishna expanded himself into all his friends and cows and calves, not cows. After 1 year, Brahma comes back to see what Krishna has done. Like a normal small boy, Krishna was around 5 years old at that time. So if a young boy of 5 years old, he loses his friends, obviously he will sit and cry. And that is what Brahma came to see. And when Brahma saw, he was surprised and shocked, because Krishna had expanded himself into all his friends, not just one. Krishna was having thousands of friends, and into so many different rupas, in so many different forms, Krishna expanded. He was having the same hairstyle, same dressing style, same way of walking, same way of talking. And when Brahma saw this, with all his 4 heads, he got giddiness. So he asked sorry to Krishna, please forgive me, I'm sorry. I wrongly tested you, it is my mistake. And please engage me in your service. At that time, Lord Krishna very mercifully forgo Lord Brahma. But then Brahma again sat in meditation and requested, I'm sorry, I'm not able to forget this, that I tested you. You are my Lord. So please do something. Krishna said, okay, I am coming as Gauranga in Kali Yuga. So you can take a humble position of being born in a family, those who eat cow flesh, and then you become my devotee. and Brahma became very happy. So Lord Brahma incarnated as Haridas Thakur. And he used to chant 3 lakh names of Krishna. That means 192 rounds. 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's not Japan, it is Japan. So that's about Haridas Thakur. And he had many wonderful pastimes with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was he who was dancing madly on the birthday of Lord Chaitanya. He was dancing and jumping and crying, forgetting everything around. I hope I could answer Madan Mohan Prabhu. We will take the next question.
Thank you, Rasa Prabhu. He says namaskar to, he folds his hand. His question is related to something with a lot of deaf people have been asking about the God Purnima and basically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthday. So it says that can we eat at 12? Does the fast open at 12? Does it happen? I mean, can we eat rice? Can we eat roti? Should we wait for the sun to set and then we eat? So there was a lot of confusion about the rituals tomorrow. Do we eat at 12? Do we eat at sunrise? When we see the moon, do we eat then? So there were a lot of people who were questioning Nirmal Prabhu, if you could answer.
Yeah. Thank you, Nirmal Prabhu. Very important question. And there are many devotees who have this doubt. So we'll take this question now. And see, generally, Ekadashi, we understand that Ekadashi fasting is full fasting from morning to next day morning without grains. Whereas in different festivals like Janmashtami or Ram Navami or Gaur Purnima, like birthday of Krishna, birthday of Lord Ram, or appearance day of Lord Gauranga. So in those cases, we fast till the time they took birth. So Lord Krishna, he took birth midnight 12. So we fast till midnight 12. Lord Ram took birth in the afternoon, 12 noon. So we take prasad at 12 noon. We fast till 12 noon. In case of Gaur Purnima, we fast till sunset. And we take prasad after sunset. Now, again, I'm saying there are different levels of fasting, which I will be telling now. So the first is full fasting till evening, till sunset. That means we don't even take water. We don't even drink water. And the second level of fasting is you can take water because you are not able to control yourself, or you can take juices, or you can take some fruits. And the next level is we can take some other things which we take during Ekadashi. This is for those who are on medicines and those who cannot fast, old people, for them, not for others. As much as possible, we should try to fast. Srila Prabhupada had informed us that in the fasting of Lord Krishna and Lord Gauranga, that means on Janmashtami day and on Gaur Purnima day, we should break our fast with Ekadasi Prasad. That means we don't take grains even after evening, even after the sun is set. But on other days like birthday of Lord Ram or Narsimhadev or Vamanadev or Varahadev, after breaking the fast at 12 noon, we can eat grains after offering to Krishna. Don't eat without offering to Krishna. So this is the basic difference between other fastings and Gaur Purnima fasting and Ekadashi. I hope I could answer, Nirmal Prabhu, your doubt. Or if there is anything further you want to come to light, spotlight again.
Nirmal Prabhu says thank you.
The next question will.
Hare Krishna, Namaskar Prabhu. His question is about the fish, and as you explained, Gaur Prabhu, how he catches the fish or gets the people, and how Krishna takes the people one by one, and how Gaur Prabhu does it with the net. So if we talk about the 360 degree view of what Brahma has because of 4 heads, and people, when they are strongly committed to join Krishna conscious, but are not ready, but Gaurang Prabhu still takes all of them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how is that fair to the ones who are not ready? I have some confusion.
Okay, so obviously, till the time we, first I would thank you, Prabhuji, Ramesh Prabhu. Very valid question. Obviously, a husband or wife, they cannot force their partner into love. It comes gradually. By the mercy of the Lord, it comes gradually. Like you don't take your knife and go to your wife that, no, today you love me. Wife doesn't take a pistol, a gun, and keeps on the head of the husband and say, no, now you have to love me. That does not happen. And that will be a forced love. But remembrance of love can be given. Like if you love your wife, you will take her some gift. You will take a sari. You may take her favorite dishes for eating. You may take some nice jewelries. You show your love in that way. And then automatically there are heart feeling changes in your wife. And similar case, a wife will cook something great, something delicious. She will serve the husband nicely. And then there will be a heart change on the other side. Or the parents will bring some gifts for the kids, or the kids will do some service for the parents. All these things will change the heart. In the similar way, Lord Gauranga, he reminds us of our position and he helps us to develop that love. And once you have that little bit connection and you pray, then it is like the question paper. You write your name and roll number and you are passed. You just need to pray to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please help me, and he will help. But he helps us to develop that love. It is not easy to be a great Krishna conscious devotee in other yugas. It is very difficult. People have to do a lot of fasting. They have to sit in meditation for many years. But in case of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with a humble heart, with a pure heart, we just need to pray to him. And he fulfills all our wishes. He will not force love. He will not put a gun on your head and say, no, now you love me. But like a kind father or like a kind friend, he will explain the situations. He will help us to explain those situations. Maybe like getting connected to this Bhaktivedanta deaf community, like getting Saurav Prabhu to do interpretation, like Kavita Mataji to organize this Zoom class, and many other devotees who are all those who are involved in this. So in this manners, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he helps all of us. I hope I could answer your question, Prabhu. We can take next question.
He says people, really need to begin the journey, start the journey, take the first step, and then they actually find it for themselves automatically. Because if you never start, you would never be able to get into that zone where you start thinking towards Krishna conscious. Once you come into take the first step and join, it is an automatic process.
Okay, just an anecdote on that, on what Ramesh Prabhu mentioned. Yes, this is possible in other cases that we have to take a first step. But let's take example for all of us. It was not all the time we went. Like in my case, I was definitely searching for something spiritual. But then it was devotees who came to me. It was Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita which came to me. Prabhupada's Leelamrit book, biography of Srila Prabhupada, that was the first book I read. Prabhupada's book came to me, and obviously Prasad came to me. So in this case, they take the first step. We are looking, maybe, and some of us are not looking at all. Like in case of my grandfather, he wasn't looking for anything like this. But you know what? The first Bhagavad Gita which I read of Srila Prabhupada, I found in my grandfather's shelf. Similarly, there are so many devotees. Some of them, they get Bhagavad Gita, they get book of Srila Prabhupada, or they are invited into the temple. Yes, there are lucky souls, maybe like you, who take a first step. But in other cases, it is the mercy of the Lord which comes to people first. We may not remember, but somehow or other, in our childhood, maybe we have gone to a temple, we have seen devotees doing kirtan, we liked it, and we prayed to the Lord, and the Lord blessed. We may not remember, but in childhood, some devotee would have given us prasad. We have taken that prasad and we developed bhakti in our heart, and later on we met devotees or we inquired for it. What I mean to say is, if you don't have a credit in your hand, if you don't have something, some currency in your hand, you cannot buy. But this currency of spiritual life is first donated. This cannot be directly earned. So the Lord, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, or his devotees, they first donate, they give us something with mercy. And then we start encashing it. It became a little technical. Thank you. Next question.
Hare Krishna, Namaskar Prabhu. So 28th, we have the God Purnima, talking about fruits and various things which can be eaten, and grains like rice and atta and all of that should not be eaten. So he says he's new into this, he's new into the Krishna conscious, he wants a little tips for tomorrow.
Oh, nice, nice. But you look very beautiful, by the way, Prabhu. I could not get your name. But with the tilak, you are shining. You are looking very bright. Thank you very much for honoring tilak, wearing tilak on your forehead. Looks like you are coming from directly meeting Lord Krishna, and now you have come. Yes, so for those who want to fast tomorrow, the most important thing for tomorrow is we should chant Krishna's name more. Like if you are doing 1 round, you should do at least 4. If you are doing 4, you should do more. Those who are doing 16, they can try for doing 32 or 20. You can try of doing more. Tomorrow being Sunday, you may have time. You can read some of the books. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or Chaitanya Charitamrita. Take association of devotees. I guess tomorrow, I'm guessing that tomorrow also will be a program, a Zoom program organized. So please attend that. The real meaning of fasting is we control our eating, sleeping, and other habits, bodily necessities. And we use that time in Krishna's service. We save time on our body and we use that time to utilize in Krishna consciousness. So this is the first basic rule. Even if you cannot fast, even if you want to eat something, you eat. But these are the most important things to be done. Now comes next, like what should I fast on? So if your body allows you and you can do it, if you don't have any disease and other things, then you should fast till sunset without water. Don't even take water. If you cannot, then keep sipping up the water or juices. Then after sunset, you can properly take fruits, you can take boiled potatoes or anything. You can cook also anything apart from grains. You should not eat grains. Grains include rice, grain includes wheat, so we should not. No rice, wheat, or pulses or millets. In conclusion, no grains. But again, I'm stressing, try to increase your time in Krishna consciousness more. Thank you very much for this wonderful question. We'll take next. If I've answered your question, we will take next question. Okay. Yes, Vaishali. Yes, Vaishali Mataji, your spotlight. Yeah, I can see you.
Namaskar, Rasa Prabhu. Hare Krishna to you, Vaishali says. She says that when she was about 12 years old, she used to fast Shiva-related fast, Shivratri fast and all that. But now having the Zoom and an accessible platform to connect with Krishna, she feels much better. So she actually had been fasting and following Shiva Bhakti. At the same time, now she's also a Krishna follower and she loves Krishna. So she's a little confused between Shiva and Krishna. So should she stop all the Shiva Bhakti which she should do and only focus on Krishna? Because now she's older and bigger. So what do you suggest? Should she close all the rituals she used to do for Shiva?
Oh, thank you, Vaishali Mataji, for your wonderful question. I guess we are meeting for the first time. Maybe you have joined the sessions, but maybe this is your first question. To me at least. And I'm very thankful. Thank you very much for asking this amazing question. I'm very happy to know that you are a Shiva Bhakta. Even now you are a Shiva Bhakta. And then your question about should you continue or stop? See, now there is a very important factor. We all should know that Lord Shiva is incarnation of Krishna. And we should not stop worshipping him. We should not stop worshipping him. we should continue worshipping him. But we should know that he is not supreme God. He is best devotee of Krishna. Like, you would be surprised to know and also happy to know that the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, exactly the spot where he took birth, under a neem tree. He took birth under a neem tree. That neem tree is in Mayapur. And that place, that temple compound, is called as Yoga Peeth. This temple compound of Yoga Peeth has a temple of Lord Shivalinga. And every day, the pujari who worships Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gauranga, worships Shivalinga also. Including like many devotees, many devotees. Every day they worship Lord Shiva. They regard and respect Lord Shiva very high. But again, we should know that Lord Shiva is a great devotee and Krishna is his boss. This is not out of fight between a Vaishnava and a Shaivite. There is no fight between them. There is no fight between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva, who is supreme, who is above, who is low. No, there is no fight. They know their position very well. Lord Shiva knows, yeah, he is my boss. Krishna is my boss. And that is why in so many scriptures, in so many Puranas, he explains how to worship Krishna. Like, we get to know that Lord Shiva, he taught Mother Parvati how to worship Gauranga. And there is a temple in Simantadweep. This temple is of Simantini Devi. Simantini Devi is Mother Parvati. And Mother Parvati at this place, she was chanting the names of Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. And this message was given to her by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva told her, you chant. And Lord Shiva was also chanting. Just that you do those worships which are allowed. Like, you should not kill animals and offer meat to Lord Shiva. Don't do all those stuff. If you are watering Lord Shiva's linga, you can continue that. Pray to Lord Shiva that bless me for gaining bhakti to Lord Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto or 4th book, there are prayers by name Rudra Geet. This Rudra Gita is given by Lord Shiva to become devotee of Krishna. So there are many incidences like this. Maybe we will take this will require more than 2 sessions for doing on Lord Shiva. Maybe in future sometime we will take sessions on Lord Shiva also. Amazing. I love Lord Shiva very much. We'll take next question.
We'll have one last question for today. Chat. Hare Krishna Prabhu. She folds her hands to you. She says she very interested with the session today, but there is something which she wanted to understand. So there is Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. So all of them basically copy Krishna. One minute.
Saurabh Prabhu, you may have to unmute yourself again.
Yes, so Hare Krishna Kashmira is here. She says sorry. So we have Brahma, we have Mahesh and Vishnu. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all three of them apparently are, the three, as we say, the three.
Trinity.
The Trinity. Thank you, Prabhu. And now, if we say the female, so if all the Trinity comes from Krishna, now we talk about the woman, Lakshmi, Parvati, and the female Trinity. They come from which godhead?
Okay, wonderful, Kashmira Mataji. Interesting, very, very interesting question. This question gives me goosebumps. So yeah, as we understand that Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma, they are different incarnations of Lord Krishna. In the similar way, Mother Lakshmi, Mother Parvati, Mother Saraswati, they are incarnations of Srimati Radharani. Like now, though you know that Lord Vishnu is incarnation of Krishna, so Krishna is supreme. In the similar fashion, Srimati Radharani, she is Vrajeshwari and she is supreme. And she incarnates as Mother Lakshmi. Like we sing so many songs and so many bhajans, including in the scriptures. There are many Puranas vividly explaining the glories of Srimati Radharani. If you visit Vrindavan, you may not see Krishna's names written or spoken so many places, but everywhere, on all the trees, on all the pillars, all the houses, all the hotels, all over the roads, everywhere your eye goes, you will find Shri Radha written on that. Everywhere you will see Shri Radha written. because she is Supreme Goddesses. I just request if we can take just one more last question. It's sharp 10. We should extend little. Yes, Sparsh Prabhu.
So he's talking about the fast tomorrow, but he had some medical condition, I think, about 3 weeks before he went to the medical. So he has low hemoglobin, I think, and there's a routine which has been given to him, which he must follow. So he probably he thinks that it will be difficult for him to follow the fast. So is there any way out for him?
Yes, definitely, Sparsh Prabhu. I pray to Lord Narsimha Dev for your quick recovery. May Lord gives you best health so that you can do proper service to him. Fasting is one part of Krishna consciousness. And for increasing your human hemoglobin, I guess you should take 3 fruits very prominently. Obviously, doctors would have prescribed you a lot. You should take amla, you should take sugarcane, you should take beetroot and pomegranate. This is what I can suggest from my side. And if it is, and the doctors have given you very specific diet and medicines to be followed, please do that. Please maintain your diet, because as I suggested, you can definitely take vegetables and fruits, milk products, and you can continue your fasting. If there is huge necessity of you to take grains, then you take your grains, but make sure that you chant more or maybe read more or get tulsi and offer to Krishna. He becomes very happy offering tulsis. Wow, this question also got over very early. Shivani Mataji is the last, and then we'll end. Yeah, Shivani Mataji and last, and then we'll close.
So we have come to the end of today's session. There's one thing which Shivani wants to just conclude. Thank you so much for taking all the questions related to the fast. Hopefully next time there are people who are interested in learning about Shiva, Lord Shiva. And thank you so much for the session today with Rasa Prabhu and the interpreter. We will take your leave. Hare Krishna.
We allowed of Gauranga, you can say to all before we end. All of you, do not forget to chant Krishna's names, chant Gauranga's name. Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. Thank you, Dayal Gauranga Prabhu. Happy to see you there. Thank you very much. And also for informing us, Gauranga.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, interpreter, so there is Gauranga holding the ear and then doing the G and then shining and doing Gauranga. So there are 2 ways. So because there's the light which emits from the Lord. So we can do Gaurang in two ways. So we would like Ranjini. She has been typing all the content, whatever Prabhu has been saying, and so the interpreter has been thanking, which is very, very nice. So we will finish now. Hopefully. Yes, and we just would like to ask the last point that hopefully we will remember tomorrow is God's Purnima. This is celebration, it's a festival for all of us. We can fast, we can chant, we can remember Krishna, we can read, and hopefully we will focus on the positivity and cut out all the negativity from our life. And we meet tomorrow in the Zoom session. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, Rasa Prabhu, thank you so much. You can quit, and the interpreter is also going to quit. And now we all are going to chant.
Bhaj Gauranga